What's going on, Susan?
I'm still sharing it everywhere because the intro is so short.
It was not nice when we had those 2-minute intros, wasn't it?
I know, right? Like it really got me like settled and like in a direction and like I could like relax before the show started.
What's going on? Shouldn't you be in the pool or something? You're back in Louisiana now.
I am in my swimsuit and you called me and said, "Oh, by the way, you're going live with me tonight." And I was like, "Nah." And you're like, "Yeah." And here I am. But man, we had a great week last week, didn't we?
It was a blast. It was a blast. It was good having you out here. Man, we accomplished a lot. Especially, I mean, it's just organized. It's just having you here and having all of us together in one place. It's just different than trying to do everything remotely.
It's super refreshing for me as well. Like, the team just kind of invigorates me and gets me excited. And we have a couple of new team members, and it was great to really actually get to know them in person, other than over like a Zoom call that's, all business all the time, like actually getting to talk to our team,
Mhm.
which is wonderful. Yeah, no, I'm excited to be home because, we go from sun up to sundown working, right, when I'm there,
Yeah.
to back to just like kind of a more normal schedule, but we do pack in a lot of stuff when I'm at home.
Well, I mean, you were gonna.
But
I don't think I've talked to you since, but you said you were gonna talk to, the cruise. What's going on with the cruise? When can we register for that?
yes, I talked to Megan. I'll have all the details settled in the next 24 hours, but we are going out of New Orleans. Yes, on the Valor. February 26th to March 2nd, and we will be going to Cozumel, Mexico, because I know you wanted to go to Mexico. We're going to make it happen.
It's gonna be a good time of year. So, because
It
the weather's
is.
perfect down there. I mean, that's what my wife goes down there all the time in the summertime. Yadira's heading down there to visit her family, and I don't know how she
Mhm.
does it. It's like, oh, it's hot, humid, bugs. It's like, and it's like July and stuff when she goes. I can't do it. And I'm from Vegas, so when I say it's hot and humid, it's got to be nasty to go for me not to want to go somewhere.
Right? Right. It was hot last week. It's pretty hot down here. We're not hitting like the 113 degrees y'all are hitting in Vegas, but we're also hitting like 150% humidity.
Yeah,
So,
it's like humidity and a heat wave or something going back there. I see everybody posting about it and stuff. It's just nuts. So I'll stay on my dry, humid oven temperatures. You guys can have that humidity and the alligators, right?
they're just puppies around here. They're just puppies.
But hey, today, so I got my hat off today. I
I
got
do
my hat off. I'm
notice.
going to be putting my glasses on because we're going to be reading some stuff that I think is really serious. And
I
we've
agree.
got, you've been kind of following it for years. We've been working on this stuff when it comes to how we want to really get some public awareness and everything going out for everything that we're doing, and for more professionalism, for the safety standards and all that stuff. And I'm a firm believer that I'm all about open access to it. So
Mhm.
we did have some stuff even while you were here that went out there, and if you go to the app stores now, Fence Social's in there, Gate Safety app is in there. So we encourage everybody to go and download both of those, because those are changing all the time as we've been working on. A bunch of these have been worked on for years. So the Fence Social, actually, the first people there, I mean, there's already hundreds of people in there that set up their profiles. So get your usernames now. And this is going to be, is basically, it kind of feels like a social media, another social media platform, which none of us really want, but that's secondary. Primarily, it really is. Primarily, it's for networking amongst ourselves in the fence industry and for events and things like that that's going on. So, the
Well,
very
and
first,
I like the information that's really been put out on Fence Social more than anything, like just education and stuff like that. That's really simple, a quick read, a quick update from different companies and manufacturers, vendors, suppliers, like, and then installers as well. Like, I really like that aspect about Fence Social being able to directly link like what's going on in the industry
yeah.
in one place.
Yeah, and you can. Basically it's developed, and right now the actual the Fence Social Events app will be separate with it, and the first people to actually use that to tie this into the badge scanning and stuff is going to be at the Fence Show. So we're testing and testing, trying to break it now to see if we can get anything to go wrong, and so far we haven't. So the exhibitors will be using that to scan badges, part of the Fence Social. So definitely get in there and set up your accounts. Play with it, because if you've got a favorite username like I do and everybody else does, we have no control over that. If somebody takes it, they take it. It's like all the other platforms. It's gone, and now your favorite username won. Right?
Right. Right.
Two, whatever it's going to be. So people have been really kind of engaging in there, hundreds of people so far. But the Gate Safety app is what one of the main things that
That
is a
is a
huge
game
deal.
changer.
It's a huge deal. So the gate safety app was developed solely because, for us as well, is how do we get our people in the field to, it's one thing to have an operator, we get a lot of lab tested operators that says, hey, it has to have this and it has to have that, but there's no way to guarantee any of the stuff goes on in the field and that the stuff's actually being done. So that's always been I know I got, because I'm trying to read stuff, Michaela. Right?
Let's see what we're writing down.
you know but nonetheless, yeah, so that's kind of what it was developed for. And that app just basically ties in everything, all the standards, the TGM 500 standards. And at the end of it, if someone goes through that app and downloads it, if you got your field text out in there right from their phone, right from a tablet, they answer a sequence of questions. And when they're done, it asks them about the auto close, ask them about your entrapment zones, your photo eyes, and they snap a photo with their phone while they're doing the checklist right on their phone, and it gives them a PDF document, gets emailed to you, the customer, basically the installer, not to the customers directly, but to the installer and your company, with the relevant information of what it was, the installer's name, company, property address, everything. And it gets automatically sent to you. And here's the kicker is if something does go wrong, and these are just default pictures that go in there, but it shows there's no exposed edges and stuff. So each one of these would be an individual picture. The installer or the tech or you signs this in the end, and that gets sent to you with an official DocuSign document. So you've got now a document that's an official proof of that date that you selected and everything, that you actually went and did this. So later on, if there's a problem out in the field, you've got something in your file. Save it. Hopefully you never have to use it, but you've actually got a documented thing that somebody went out and took the photo ID, changed something. Maybe they replaced the gate. Maybe they took your screen off, took the signs off. Nobody can come back and say, you didn't do it. You've not only did you do it, you got photos, you've got a DocuSign proof that your installer did it and the date.
That's what I love most about it is the fact that instead of having a paper checkoff list, it's literally right there on your phone. It doesn't take any extra time. It leads you through the process of taking all the photos. You can take a photo as you go through your checklist. Yeah. And then it emails it to you. And all you have to do is put it into your digital files. You can print it because it emails you afterwards if you want. So you know everything that went on that site. That is such a game changer. There is nothing like it out there. And that's what I love most about it. It really CYAs. It covers everybody's butts in case of any type of issue.
Yeah. And where kind of some of this came to is, you ever watch those commercials, that Gettle commercials, GOTTL? I don't know if they have those where you're at, right? Do they? Where the kid's holding the flashlight?
I don't know. We don't have commercials. We stream everything, right?
Right.
I pay the extra $5 for no commercials.
Well, he basically he brags about being the owner of this large company. And at the end of every project, there's these 5 or 6 things that he requires that his air conditioning techs do. And they have to send him a photo of each one of those things to his phone personally, showing that he put every one of those set screws in, showing that he adjusted this or whatever it was. And that was his fail safe. So in a way, this is your fail safe to make sure you're covered out there in the field. And that's kind of what I wanted. I mean, how do your guys are actually doing it? And then if your guys say, hey, I'm all done with the job, well, send me the checklist, right? Take the pictures and do this and make it official. So that alone was, it's a game changer, but that's just one part of the TGM standards. So, and somebody else was asking, AutoGate was asking me not too long ago, does that cover pivot gates? And and that's part of the TGM 502 part of it. So TGM 500 actually covers the gate operator, and it makes sure that the operator has normally closed photo eyes. So it has, basically the operator won't work if there's not a photo eye hooked up, and things like that. So that covers that for the operator. And then your swing gate and slide gates, TGM 501 and 502, and then pivot gates are 502 is kind of incorporated in the pivot gate one. So nonetheless, it's really kind of a nice thing to be able to go and show your employees. Now, you come from a gate operator side of it. When we met, you were pretty heavy with SAS on the gate operator side of it. So how much time did we spend talking about? I hate talking about gate safety, to be honest. I think it's as much time as I spend talking about it, I hate talking about it because I think it's such a small part of what we do that we've blown up into such a big deal. And it's really not that hard to make a gate safe.
Completely agree with you, especially since so much of it is actually put onto the manufacturers. It's built into the operator already. So at this point, I think the reality is it's all in documentation, making sure that you have your signs on, that you have the proper gate itself, that it's following the right direction and flow, and just documenting it, right? Like
Yep.
it's literally about covering your butt. And that's what TGM does more than anything. It makes sure you took all the proper steps in your installation process so that there are no questions, there's no
Yeah.
concerns. And when you get to that one question where you're like, hold on, did I do that? And you go and look and you're like, yes or no, you can correct it right then and there, no questions asked.
Yep.
Before you even upload the picture, you've made sure that it falls into the standard, you make sure that it's safe, and it's now documented.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really, I mean, it's really easy to follow. I mean, go to gatesafety.com and you can download either one of the iOS or Android apps from there. And here it is, the online checklist. If you don't want to do the app, you could do it directly online there. We've got where you can download the training manual. We've got the checklist right on here. And what's really neat about this is if you don't want to go and do the app and you want to send these things out with the crews themselves, you can do it manually. You can, and it's all about making sure that I'm real big on gate safety, but you have to make something that's verifiable. And I love checklists. If you know anything about me, I'm a huge checklist person. So, everything in my office is a checklist, send the trucks out. So this is similar to what that app would be, as long as the operator meets the TGM 500 requirements, which is going to be in the manual I'll show you. It's simple as sending this out with one of your crews. Here's one for slides, and then there's one for swings. So you can check this off. Does the gate hooked up and tested with the normally closed safety devices? Does it have, does it have basically the fall protection installed? Does it, there's all kinds of stuff, you can entrapment zones, things like this. So you run through this checklist and you put the date, the customer's name, the installer, the address, and the installer out there says, yes, this gate was built per these standards, and signs this thing. And you've got now, again, is it as good as a DocuSign thing? Maybe not, but it's pretty close, right? And no photos uploaded with it, but it's better than nothing if you get in trouble. And again, there's swing gate ones. And
all of this can be accessed on gatesafety.com. You can print it off directly. You can change logos, add your company logo, whatever you need to do for file purposes, because there are a lot of people out there who still want a physical form, right? Yep. You can have both.
Yeah.
And it costs nothing extra. Just a few minutes of your time to make sure every single step is covered. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. And then the final step, which is on here as well, gatesafety.com. And when you do that, you'll get directed over to Gate Monitor, another site if you're an installer, and it gives you even more information. But here's a property owner checklist, a closeout. And I believe if, we have a lot of people out there that say, oh yeah, no, I build things perfect. I'm great. I'm better. I don't, we don't do anything wrong. Well, here it is. Here's something that the property owners themselves and property managers can use. Look, the equipment was tested and it has a, you either put a label or don't put a label. Again, we're not trying to certify the operators of the equipment. This is basically trying to make sure everything was installed correctly. Warning signs were installed, check. Manual release instructions were, not only was the manual release there, it was explained to the homeowners or the property owners how to use it. Because a lot of times we just put this equipment out there that says, hey, it meets this, it was tested in a lab, but then you ask half these people how they would release the manual. I've known installers that I went out that were installing the gate that it took them, they had to go to the manual to figure out how to release it. So not much less the customers themselves. So that's the stuff that makes a difference between somebody getting hurt. So if that gate does start binding up on somebody, shouldn't the property owner know how to release the motor and release the gate and open it back up to emergency to let someone in or something if the power fails?
And we're talking about a 5-minute conversation. That's right. It.
Yeah, and check the gate stopped if the sensors were. I mean, this is basically just a quick checklist for the hop. It's not to pick apart any job, but you shouldn't have any problems explaining this stuff to a property owner if you're doing it the right way. And if you follow this checklist, now you've set yourself apart from somebody else.
Exactly, it's clear. Like no questions asked. I just don't see why we wouldn't be taking these steps. I think it's efficient, it's easy, and it can all be filed.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be doing, though, at the Fence Show, and we do it once a month, by the way, our training that happens once a month on the 1st at 1 p.m. I don't care what day it is. I don't care whose birthday it is. I don't care what's going on. At 1 p.m., I'm going to be on the computer and doing these live streams. You go to gatesafety.com, the link and the videos. I think the last month's video is already up there. And we're going to be bringing people on live to discuss this, and we can help them train on how to use these checklists. But the big training is going to be at the Fence Show, obviously, on April 2nd between 1 and 3 p.m. And anybody can scan this QR code to reserve your spot at the training. And this is going to be
April 2nd.
Yep.
April.
Oh, October 2nd. Did I say April? Sorry, October 2nd. Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know we were having a Fence Show in April. No, I'm not ready.
I haven't announced that yet. I should, right? You never
No,
know though,
that's
right?
wonderful. Well, hold on. Aren't you going to go over TGM standards in Florida next month?
We're gonna be doing it at the Spanish training, and it'll be now it's Spanish and English as
Hmm.
well in there. So go to fentonuniversity.com. You can sign up for that. Any training is going to have TGM 500 and 501, 502 standards in it as well. So we're going to
And
make sure
what's
the whole world.
valuable, yeah, and what's valuable about it is like it's literally useful information. You will use it on every job site. It's a clear just direction and steps to make sure every time you walk away from a site that it's safe.
Yeah, yeah. And as I showed you earlier, this is free for everybody to use. This gate safety training manual that we created. This is print it, publish, print it, share it, whatever you want to do with this, and we want to get it out there. It's going to have a little, some information explaining a little bit about the free training and stuff that we're doing, and why we need these TGM standards and how this all came about. Basically, we don't want this stuff hidden inside firmware and buried inside code books and things
Right.
like this anymore. We want to get this information out there, and I'm real big on public awareness and contractor awareness. I mean, we spend a lot of time in our industry worrying about public consumer protection groups and things like this. I want this focus back on the contractors. Let's get this information back out there. Real awareness, and it starts with us. It does. And we can do this. It only takes a few minutes, like I said, to do it right compared to doing it the wrong way. So this is going to outline the TGM standards and see what operators meet it and some don't. Because I mean, just like everything else, you have to be your operator has to meet these safety standards and work. So it's not like every operator is going to be able to fit these standards. And we created we had to go and write a special rule just for monitor safety devices. That we don't want to cut out the people that use monitor safety devices. We want those. I mean, obviously, it's going to have to be still. You still have to hook up any safety device to it. Normally closed device, whether it be an Edge, Photo Eye, things like that. We got to be careful when we start restricting it to proprietary products. That in the field, if you're out there in the field in an emergency, the operator's not working, and you got a tech out there, and he can't find a specific brand of Photo Eye or something, or maybe new technology comes out that's better than the one that was out there 5 years ago. We need them to be able to upgrade the equipment and use and find equipment. So that encourages people to bypass the safety devices if they can't get the equipment locally, right? To fix it.
Right.
So we want to do our part to help make sure they're included, but make sure that they, live up to the same standards that we all have. But this will be more of, again, your 501 and 502 requirements in here. The checklist will be in here. A lot of valuable information, a lot more detailed information. I encourage everybody to go to go to gatesafety.com, download this thing, print it. We're going to have a ton of these things available at the Fence Show as well. And we're going to try to get these over to a bunch of the distributors. The training is going to be happening. We're going to get everybody out there.
When people email you, should they want just like a PDF copy or would they email me?
You could email me and I'll forward it to Susan.
Yeah. So Susan at fenshow.com. Should you just want like a clear PDF version of this available to you, I'll email it to you, not a problem.
Yeah.
Or reach out on social media. We have 1,000 ways for you to contact us.
Yep. Or if you can reach out to Brian at LasVegasFence.com. I'm always, I sometimes it feels like it takes me a while to respond, but I typically do. But again, download the app.
Is that, hold on. Is that the email I'm supposed to be using to get you to answer me? Because I've got it all wrong.
Yeah, Bluetooth it to me. I'll get right back.
Got it.
So again, the apps are easy to find, Android and Apple. So what it's
How hard is it to create an app, Brian?
Huh? What's that?
How hard is it to create an app?
It's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But
especially Apple, right? They have a lot of rules with Apple, right?
Apple was a pain. Yeah. But what's nice is if you try to push your stuff through Apple first, you get all that, it just flies through the Android side of it. So it's probably good to have them pick it apart so you don't have all the issues on the other one. But really, I just want to get the information out. You know me, it gets in my head and I get obsessed with the stuff. And I'm like, what can we do to change it? And the way we were going just wasn't working. I mean, nobody was learning it. All we knew was, we were trusting that laboratories were going to make our gates safe. And that just wasn't going to happen. And we were trusting that, government agencies were going to come in and regulate the fences. That's just never going to happen. So this is our way of saying, you know what? We are a professional industry. We're a trade. And this is how we make ourselves professional and an official trade. And we let people not act like we're handymen, is by doing it the right way like this.
I agree. And what I love is that the FWA is working for its members nonstop. It's always thinking about ways to make us more efficient, to cover our butts, to make sure that if we do have to go into litigation, we've given them every resource available.
Yeah, yeah, and so I'm all about lowering liability. I mean, if you ever seen me try to
Me
review a
too.
contract, it's a nightmare. I'm just like red line,
Mhm.
red line, red line. I hate contracts when it
Mhm.
comes to that kind of stuff. So
Right.
I was excited to get this out. I'm excited to have people go out there and start do some of the checklists. And this is stuff that we're putting out for free. We're going to put it out for free as long as we can. I mean, as long as people are using it, we get that, and then maybe we can get some manufacturers helping support it. It's really
Mhm.
hard. It's really hard to get support in our industry for stuff. you know, it's
Feel
weird,
like
isn't it?
everything well, I feel like everything's been done a certain way for so long that with the FWA, we are really kind of like coming out with new ideas and new ways to make it more efficient, better for installers and companies, like, and that's doesn't exist already, right? Like we're so used to, well, it's always been done this way.
Yeah.
And we're that's not a good enough reason, right?
Yeah, yeah. It can't just be, and people say, "Well, that's just the way it's always been done," and that's it. It just got to be more than
That's not who
There's
we are.
you hear that like, "Well, we don't have anything better." Well, now we do, and you still don't
Hmm.
support it sometimes. You're like going, "So it really wasn't about that, right?" right? You
Right.
know, it was about just not wanting things to change. But we've spent the last 20 years saying what we're doing isn't working. So I'm like, okay, then why are we going to continue doing something? I mean, any business consultant will tell you if something's not working, you can't be afraid to pivot. You pivot, and
You have to.
it's amazing how our industry will chase and go down a rabbit hole, especially things like gate safety. And even though it's not working, even you know what I mean, and we refuse to pivot. So this is me telling the industry, let's pivot and let's get out there and make some
Yes.
gates safer, and let's stop talking about it and let's just start doing it, because I
Mhm.
am sick and tired of having conversations about gate safety. It's really not that hard. People can get out there and do it. Follow these checklists. If you got some input, get involved. I'll be honest, I don't even know what the hell we would have meetings about every month. You know what I mean? If you ask me, Brian, are we going to have 20 years worth of meetings about gate safety standards? I'd be like, you are out of your mind. Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell would
Right.
we talk about every time? Just follow these simple, here's the deal. Make sure the gate doesn't
Hmm.
fall over, right? And hurt somebody.
Right.
Follow these simple
100%.
steps, follow this checklist. And accidents are going to happen every once in a while, but it's
Hmm.
going to definitely help reduce them if we all just get a little bit involved.
Yes. I
Yeah.
completely agree. I think it's a very simple step to take to make sure that we're working in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited. So anyway, that's kind of it. Next week, by the way,
It's going to be a good show.
it's going to be a good show. We've got one of the local unions that comes on to our, that exhibits at our show every year. So the Iron Workers Union is going to be on next week, and we're going to be asking them, what do they offer the industry? What's the advantages to some companies going union? People always ask all the time, hey,
Hmm.
I want to bid some unions jobs. Should my company go union? Should it not? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it good for the employees? Things like that. So we're going to get into it and hear straight from the union. So that'll be kind
I'm
of cool.
excited about that. I can't wait to hear from them. They've done our show every year. They've been huge supporters of ours,
Yep.
and like whatever we can do to support them in return, like, and I think this is a great starting point. But I see JC Gurry is in the house. Is there like an event happening at the Finch show, an RSVP event with those guys?
They got
I know
one.
I should know this. I know I should know this.
Let me see if I can find it. They sent it to me. Let me see. That is too funny.
There's like an RSVP link. They're having a 75-year anniversary
The
party,
75th year.
customer
So
appreciation.
it's gonna be
That's
what
crazy.
Tuesday the 29th, right?
Uh-huh.
Tuesday the
And
29th.
I think they have like, because I kind of saw like, because they have to kind of go through me to plan their events. They're gonna have drinks, they're gonna have food, they're gonna have a dance floor.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a DJ, they're gonna have a photo booth. Like everyone's welcome. You just need to RSVP so that they know like how much food and booze to buy. You heard that? How much food and booze to buy?
Yeah, come on, everybody. Let's not leave them hanging to where they end up purchasing a bunch of stuff for being under. Mary, she will not like that very much if all of a sudden people, huh?
Oh, hold on. It's September 30th, not the 29th. September 30th. Tuesday, September 30th. Thank you, JC Gray. I think they're going to do something really extraordinary this year, and different. I think this event's it's got a kind of networking kind of feel to
Yep.
it, with
Yep.
a casual like party
It's
thing
gonna be
going
fun.
on.
They said they've got some really cool stuff planned, and I think you're gonna see all of their employees are coming down. How cool is that?
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Huh?
Look at them. They're so great. They're such a good partner. If you're not working with JC Guri, I don't even know what you're doing.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, if you know Mark and Mary, they immediately invite you into their home, they make you family, and they want to provide you with the highest quality product available on the market, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, I don't know. Just saying, be there or be square.
I think it's going to be a cool show. And then obviously we've got them going on the 29th. Is that 30th? 30th. I don't know why I keep saying
The
29th.
30th.
There's 30th days in that month. So 30 days
The
in that month.
30th.
So 30th, and that's going to be in the evening before the October 1st when the show opens up. And then when is the Women of FWA brunch?
Women of FWA brunch is going to be on October 1st before the show floor opens. There will be mimosas, there will be Bloody Marys, there will be lots of food, and I think they're doing like a full-on networking event as well, like with games and prizes. And that is open to everyone, not just women. It's just the Women of FWA hosting it. So it'll be kind of like you'll start the evening off with JC Guri on the 30th. And then because you'll probably be hungover, you can have that Bloody Mary pick me up the next morning and then be at the show open
Yeah.
to hit all the booths. So like I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be a great event. The Women of FWA has graciously like volunteered to host this and make sure it was successful and that everybody had tons and tons of networking opportunities.
Yeah, and that's the morning. That's the morning on the 1st, and then that's Wednesday, and then Wednesday night
Mhm.
we're putting together called Strip Night. So there's going to be all kinds
Yeah.
of cool stuff because we want everybody to be able to see the Strip as well and go down to Las Vegas. A lot of people flew here. Some people have never been to Las Vegas before. A lot of people come to the show that have never been to Vegas either or been to a fence show. So we don't want to just
Look
have
at
them all. Oh, look
look
at
at
that! John
John
McClane's
McClane.
coming.
Yeah. We're excited to see you, bud. It's
That's
gonna be a
awesome.
great event.
Yeah, so we want to have that Strip Night on Friday or on Wednesday, and then Thursday though after that is going to be, what is that? What do you say? Ain't no party like a homeland party, but
Because the Homeland Party don't stop. Yes, they're doing a glow party, you guys. Like I'm so excited about it. So it's gonna be on site. It's gonna be downstairs, like actually near the casino floor. What is that room called?
oh, the showroom.
The showroom. It's such an awesome space. It's got a huge dance floor. They're gonna have the Spasmatics again. And
Except
it's gonna
this
be
is,
great music.
seeing them at this location is really cool because it's, I mean, they do this, they do this stage a lot, and you're right up
It's their
front, and
host.
it
Yeah.
is a really cool place to watch the Spasmatics. I mean, you just get into it at this place.
Yes. So it's a beautiful space. Hold on. Should we bring dollar bills for strip night?
Right?
I'm confused if this is
I,
Mark or Mary.
well, we know who that is. We know that's Mark. He's over at the store breaking a 20 right now.
Right. And, yeah.
So
It,
it's going to be cool.
it's going to be a great event. We're trying to free up people's time and be more efficient so that they can enjoy Las Vegas as well as the Fun Show itself. I have a ton of new exhibitors this year. I'm very excited about it. We're going in a whole new direction. We're going more into the networking, bringing contractors together, bringing. Um, I'm sorry, my kid just walked in. It's Mary, of course, it's Mary. But yes, it's going to be more inclusive. We're bringing more contractors and subcontractors together,
Yeah.
building relationships with exhibitors and manufacturers and distributors and the whole nine. Like that is our main goal this year, and we're going to make
I
it
was
happen.
noticing that. I was in there taking a picture of the board today, and then after I took it and posted it, somebody's like, no, there's like 20 of them that aren't even up there yet. So which is really cool. So I'm gonna have to do another picture with all the updated people that you guys already have exhibitors, and a lot of these are names I've never seen.
Yes,
So
no, it's going to be a really great year. We have lots of distributors this year. So this is the year to come and build your relationships, find out who's in your area, find out how to buy products and to get truckloads and the whole nine.
and that's what the FWA is about, really, because I remember when I first started doing this, it was, my big concern was when I was talking to the members and stuff was it wasn't just events and golf trips and things like that they were asking us to do and all this stuff. They were like, hey, we need help. We need forums. We need resources. We need it helps with
Yes.
I mean, a lot of the feedback, the healthcare, all this stuff, and then being able to have access to materials. This was actually kind of after the COVID thing, remember? And there was a big
Right.
issue. A lot of people couldn't get materials, and I think that was the number one. So I literally was almost begging all the distributors and stuff. And a lot of them you don't have to beg, but so I'm saying, hey, do me a favor, just sign these people up, give them accounts. I mean, we're gonna ship these people all the way from around the country to Las Vegas, and they're there. They want to make contacts. Right?
Given authority to these distributors and manufacturers to create accounts on the floor, to go ahead and start working with the people. The people who come to the show are already vetted. There are not end users coming to the show to find out about one or two fences. There are companies, decision makers, manufacturers, managers, and what is that word I'm looking for?
Procurement.
The salespeople.
Oh, estimators and salespeople.
Salespeople. Oh,
Call them whatever.
It's all 75% decision makers as well.
Yeah. So it's nice, and that's what it's about. I always said, I mean, if you want to fill a room up every year with the same 500 people, that's easy. I mean, there's certain people that go to every one, but the hardest part is finding people that, which is great. I want people that have never heard of FWA, never heard of AFA, never heard of NAFTA, never heard of WASP, never heard of any of these people, and never been to a show. And we want to get them to these shows so they can meet these distributors and manufacturers and other people in the industry that they didn't even know existed. And it's a chance. And the reason it's here is at a place that's more affordable is because we want you to bring your team. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing what happens when you take your team and show them how great our industry is. You might have somebody that's on the edge of leaving, thinking I have no future in the fence industry, and they go to something like this and they're just like, remember the first time you went to a fence show? You're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But I still have people at a Denny's, they'll see my fence show shirt that I'm wearing. I'm like, there's a show for fencing. I'm like, yeah, with hundreds of exhibitors and thousands of people show up. And we're, and you show that to somebody that's new in our industry that maybe just went to work for a company that's working there that doesn't realize it because all they've ever seen was you and your staff. And it might help keep them in your industry working for your company and stuff. So, and maybe want to say, hey, I want to go work for one of these manufacturers or work for you longer or grow up in the industry, So it's kind of, these shows are a big deal. It really is.
They are. And one of our main goals is to keep people in this industry and to bring new people in. So what a great opportunity. I'm never going to stop that mission. That's my main priority.
Yeah. All right, Susan, I know I'd only said I'd keep you for 30 minutes so you could go swimming. You got your son bugging you.
Dear, he wanted to know if he could play a Switch. I'm like, no, we're going swimming.
All right. So everybody that's watching live, thank you for tuning in. Next week, like I said, we've got one of the local unions that comes and exhibits at our show that's going to be coming on. So if you got any questions or anything like that, drop them with us. We'll try to get those answered during the show too, because that's kind of a big deal to get feedback from all of you guys. Go download the apps. Help us out. Test these things out. You're going to see these things. And if you know anything about us, we push. So you're going to see this stuff grow. You might as well be part of it.
These apps are free.
Free to download. You might as well be part of it because we're going to do it anyway. That's always been our motto, right?
I love that.
Be safe, everybody. We'll talk to you guys later. Susan, thanks again for everything.
Thank you, Brian.